So, hello everybody. Very nice to see you all here. I'm joined today. If you were here last week, you remember I have only one friend. Now I have three of them. So I'm in a crowd, looking forward to hear what Dmitry has to say about digital right protection. Right, Dmitry? I think I said correctly. So it's going to be an interesting thing, I think. An interesting topic about some scams and how to protect against it, your companies, your brand, your reputation. And if you ask me, or sorry, if I understood Dmitry correctly, there'll be also one very interesting demo of an incident that happened pretty much recently. Of course, in a global scale, not just something that happened here.
Thank you so much, David. Yep. So it's a great pleasure to see you, to feel you guys here today, and many thanks for joining us. So my name is Dmitry Tunkin, and I've been working for Group IB for at least 8 years already. So we have many things which we combat with from the perspective of like bad guys in the internet, hackers, different pirates, counterfeiters, fraudsters, and so on. And today I'm going to talk about digital risks because, like cybersecurity is always about risks. But however, we really need to think sometimes more broader, more wider, and to keep our eyes open even for such things about which I'm going to talk about today. So here is our agenda for today. The first one, what is the division, what is the difference between scams and phishing? It is not quite clear at the moment why we need to divide these two features out of like one scope of fraud, but what is going on that we really need to pay your attention to it. Also, we're going to talk about the evolution of major scams of 2019 and already of 2020. And also, I'm going to share with you our knowledge in relation to a classic scam scheme, which started in the end of 2019, but it really grew up and became much more stronger during the 2020, and it is expanding extremely rapidly throughout the Europe and USA nowadays. So in 2021, it should be one of the most hardest and serious scams. So let's kick off. It's not a new feature for you that for the past already 2 years we're having this global pandemic situation all around us. And this means that it really affects different types of businesses, different types of collaborations between us as end users, between companies, between customers and their companies and their consumers, and so on. So this led to some like highlights, to some changes in the market, because even those companies who were not presented online before very strongly, like some huge old banks, some of those, they even didn't have a mobile application, or some local stores maintained by local people, they even didn't have previously, in various cases, that even didn't have a website. But what we do see now, that the number of online stores grew up just twice, and the profits of high tailored offers increased up to 10, starting from 10 up to 40%. And what is the most important, that nowadays more than 40% of those are happening through social media channels. And this is a huge challenge for us as cybersecurity vendors, and also for brands who need to keep this area under control. So let's talk about scam and phishing. First of all, starting from phishing, I suppose that everybody is quite familiar with this definition and with this problem. This is a worldwide known problem. And moreover, the definition of phishing issue is also mentioned on the website of ICANN. Yep, so the major regulator in the GTLD domain name zone. And there it is mentioned that a phishing issue is basically the issue when, like the case when somebody is trying to copy an official website. This is the first point. And the second one is on that particular page, that fraudster, that hacker, that phisher is trying to steal your credentials, your sensitive data, like login password bunch or your credit card data. And this definition and this like worldwide collaboration of different regulators, CERT teams, CERT is a computer emergency response team, yep. So this worldwide collaboration of such authorities, of such associations and so on, helps to defeat these phishing issues very rapidly. For instance, our CERT team just needs, I would say, like a couple of minutes to stop the delegation of a domain name in a .ru or .su domain name zone. And if we're talking about .com or .eu, it takes like maybe 10 minutes or 20, so it's quite fast. But what happens now? Phishers and fraudsters, they understood that like the worldwide organizations, worldwide cybersecurity is trying to struggle with them. And they're going to mislead these vendors, these regulators, and they're going to change the situation. How does it happen? Just imagine a typical phishing website, but there is no second stage on this page. So what do I mean? There is no leak of, there is even not leak, but there is no attempt to steal your credentials. So there is a website which is maybe looking pretty similar to the original website of a particular company, maybe just using its trademark and some parts of the design, but not being a full copy. And additionally, it just asks you to leave some contact details, like only an email or only your mobile phone number, and that's it. So this issue would not be treated by any regulators as a phishing one. And this is a huge problem, because this means that you need to start negotiation with the regulator, with the domain name registrar, and so on. And it really takes time. So this is the biggest difference between scams and phishing issues, because lots of scams appearing nowadays, they're not described anywhere. And the major part of regulators ask vendors like us and like other guys playing on the market to go to the court. And this is a huge disaster for us, because we really need to start negotiation. And as you may see under scams, there are much more than only websites which are trying to cheat people. There are also rogue mobile applications, fake promotions, also in social networks, and even false partnerships. When there is a website or just a web page or a post in a social network which is pretending to act on behalf of an official company, like a official branch of this company. And also the difference between scams and phishing, that nowadays scammers are interacting, in most of the cases, they're interacting directly with their victims. And this makes those victims spend money directly to their scammer's pocket. When you're facing with a phishing website, you may like spend your credentials, and those would be sold in advance, like maybe in 2 weeks, maybe in a couple of months, within a huge database. And in the future, it may be used, maybe not. So in most of the cases, it will be. But sometimes it happens that not. But as soon as you're getting cheated by a scammer, it means that you are now currently in a direct interaction with the scammer. And if you are losing money, if you're going to lose money, it will happen just right now. This is the main thing which we should mention in relation to this scams and phishing definition. And let's move forward to the White Rabbit scheme. So this is a scamming scheme which we discovered in 2019. At that days, scammers were just like doing the first steps. They were just testing their approaches, their tools. And unfortunately, in 2020, this scheme expanded and grew up and really improved. So for those of you guys who are not familiar with it, here is the major picture of how it looks like. Basically, the scheme consists of two big parts: the traffic attraction stage and the attacking stage. So this is pretty the same to what I just described. Yep. So on the traffic attraction stage, the scammer is trying to attract people using different brands, using different attraction channels like direct messaging in messengers, direct send-outs via emails, contextual advertisements in social networks. But what is interesting here, that one fraudster, one scammer for this particular scamming scheme can use a bunch of different brands. And moreover, he may use such brands which I would say are not like even equal to each other, because like some parts of traffic they may attract via retail brands, some parts of traffic they may attract via banking brands, and so on. But what is common, that on this particular stage of the traffic attraction, they are not cheating you. They just promote something, and in various cases, they promote something like a giveaway. Yep. So a discount, a giveaway, you just need to fulfill the form to answer some questions, and maybe you will get a chance to win something beneficial from this particular brand. So this leads us to this point, to the multiply redirects chain. This is just one small point in this huge left part of the traffic attraction stage, but it is really extremely important, and I'm going to explain you why a little bit later. So after getting attracted, after getting on a page with a giveaway, the person just fulfills the form or clicks on the buttons, passes the survey, and at the very end of this survey, he or she is asked to leave his or her email or mobile phone number, to keep in touch, and in advance to send to this user a notification whether he or she wants something or not. So, and at this point, for the user, it looks like everything is ended and nothing prohibited happened. But what happens next? The second part is the attacking part. Using these credentials and also using the data out of the user's browser and so on, these fraudsters provide this user with a specifically tailored web page. It could be a phishing, it could be a scamming page where the user will be asked to pay some money for the delivery of this good. So it depends on their current situation, on the mood of the fraudster, and so on. But the biggest major theme here is that on the left part, the legal brands are used for attracting people, but on the right part, no official brands are used, and also the domain names, they're the way of how they're formed on the right side, they're not equal to any of legal brands, and it is really a complicated story to monitor this right part of the scheme. And major vendors, while being faced with such promotions, fake promotions in social networks, in advertising networks, and so on, they just removed their leaves which were gathering the traffic, so the left part, but they didn't pay any attention to the right one. And as soon as you do not pay attention to the right, it still leaves. And it is not a complicated story to form a new social media post, or just to form a new advertising promotion, which was done fully automatically by these guys. So this is the helicopter view of how does this work. And talking about this chain of multiple redirects, which was used by the fraudsters and the major feature which is formed out of this chain of redirects is the personalized link. Why is so important? Because as soon as you promote something, for instance, in an advertising network, such companies like Facebook, Instagram, Google, they're really trying to avoid any fraudulent activity within the advertising networks. So they really check the credibility, the reliability of the source to which the promotion leads people. And this means that in many cases, if the fraudster places on their website which is marked as a traffic leading point for those platforms, if the fraudster places something prohibited on this particular website, this would be blocked by many of these companies in a fully automated fashion, and this is a huge deal for the fraudster. But it could be easily avoided, and the fraudsters, they just invented this stuff. They created a reliable advertising server, which after getting the person onto this IP address, just forwarded the user through several websites, through several IP addresses. This track was formed fully automatically and was never equal. For this activity, in various cases, there were created like not thousands, but hundreds of domain names. And this trace formed a unique unique subsequence of points which formed a personalized link. Here at the slide, we may see that you may see an example of such a link. Sorry, and also you may see that here are some interesting things. For instance, this is S10XS. This is the name of an iPhone for which we were searching for this particular case. Windows, this is the name of our operational system. Also, Gars Telecom, this is our telecom provider from which we were using the internet at that moment. We have here our IP address also. And what is worth mentioning that also here you may see the hash key. After researching this hash key, you may understand that this is a timestamp. This means that this particular link lives only for you, only from your, and is available only at this very moment, only from your device. And also, it should have a reference to a specific search query. This means that as soon as you try to send this link to any of regulators, domain name registrars, they would be unavailable to open it and to see their entire content. So this really helps to the to scammers to hide this scheme out of the eyes of authorities and cybersecurity companies. So the probability of detection reduces, the number of victims is increasing, and so on. Let's now look at the numbers. So in 2019, there were only 80 domain names used by this scam group. And you may tell me, hey, Dmitry, 80 domain names is just like a small number. What is important? Why are you telling us about that? Because these domain names, they lasted for the entire 2019. And they grabbed dozens of traffic because nobody discovered these domain names. And in 2020, you may see that their entire amount of the domain names is more than 300. And moreover, as in 2019, they were just making the first steps, and there were only around 30 brands, mostly from Russian and CIS region, mentioned on their pages. But in 2020, there are more than 100 of worldwide known brands, and 90% of those are worldwide recognized, not local for Russia and CIS market. And to give you a more detailed picture of why it is so important, let's look at the unique users of these domain names. So this is the top 5 websites out of those 300. And you may see that this is the monthly audience, unique users, so not the entire audience, but only unique users for 1 month, and 2 million of unique users, it's a really huge amount of people. And on average, for the last part of those 300 of domain names, the average is around 200,500 unique users as monthly audience. So this is an extremely huge amount of people, extremely huge amount of traffic attracted by these guys. Yep. So I'm sorry. Yep. And let's move to the 2020. What has changed? Why this increase in traffic, increase of in their domain names and in the brands happened? What did they do? So basically, from a helicopter view, they did nothing new, but they are working pretty the same to the global businesses are working during these pandemic years, because they are tailoring their offers. So they are not trying anymore to attract different audiences to just one giveaway page as they did in 2019. They never mix now audiences from like retail sector with the banking one. They do not lead all these people, all this traffic to just one giveaway to the similar giveaway page. They are now being much more tailored. For instance, they just they research, they analyze their search engine results, the search engine queries popularity, and according to some specific search engine queries, they target their small advertising campaigns, which are really narrowed and which are working with much more higher conversion than previously. Also, the link is now much more personalized, so they really analyze their way of not the way, but they analyze the data which they get throughout this multiplayer redirect chain. So they're not using this data only for forming a personalized link, but they analyze their audience. They like make calculations whether people using some kind of laptops or from some gear region are much more used to some particular promotions, etc. So they're working like real big company. And also the third point, which made this scamming much more convenient to the end victim to be cheated, they made the content on the end page much more personalized. And also, if you have a web form which you need to fulfill on that page, it would be auto-fulfilled in accordance to the data collected out of your browser, search query, and so on. So to bring some more transparency, let's look at an example. So this is one of the most easiest examples. Just imagine that you are a person who lives and works in Amsterdam, and due to some business purposes, you need to get to Dubai very urgently. So something extremely important is happening there, and you need just to get to Dubai just today in, in 2 hours. So the first thing which you are going to do is like to take your suitcase, to run out of the office, to grab a taxi or to jump into the metro, and to start searching for airline tickets directly from your mobile phone number, using this particular information about the user agent. And also, if you're doing it from the metro, and if you are searching for today's tickets, this means that you are in a rush. You are like, you need these tickets very urgently, and you are also on your way to the airport. Yep. So this is something about what I mentioned previously. This is about the analysis of the human behavior. So after that, you will get a contextual advertisement at the very top of the search engine results. Here you may see premium tickets offer.com, and again, according to the user's behavior, not many of us really make the difference between the first real result found by the search engine and between the first promotion which popped up in the contextual advertising place. So major part of the users will click on this promotion, they will get this link, and again, there is an improvement. So the link is not looking anymore very weird like it was previously, like it was in 2019. So there is just a small hash key, and it's quite okay. Many of official portals do like this. No troubles in it. You will get an website which looks pretty okay. You may see that here is the brand of an official huge airline company from Dubai, and for sure you will treat this as a quite regular website. And moreover, here is a web form which would be fulfilled in accordance to your Google account, for instance, in accordance to your particular search query. Here will be the destination and the departure information. There will be some information regarding the flight number and the flight time and date. And also they will grab this data directly from the official website. So they really form a fully trustable, a fully reliable picture for you. The only thing that you need to do after this, to click OK, to check everything, to click OK, and to start the payment. And what is worth mentioning here, that the payment is usually done directly to the scammer's pocket. So in some cases, of course, there could be a phishing form. So, but the percent is not so high in this particular scheme. In major cases, they really build this like a payment, a direct payment. What is also important, because after being cheated by this scam, you won't be able to retrieve your money back from your bank. Yep. So after getting in touch with your bank and describing the picture, they will check everything and they will tell you, hey, you just make a direct payment. You just send money to someone directly from your account. And this is not like somebody tried to compromise your account, to log in and to steal your data, but you just did it by yourself. And you will never get those money back. That is a really bad situation. And of course, I won't be talking about this if the scam was not expanded in a global way. We detected this scheme also working in Singapore. So our Singaporean headquarters, they detected this scheme targeted on the users of a telecom provider, a really huge and number one provider in Singapore. So their users, at one moment, they just received a pop-up window on one of their websites. Basically, that was an unofficial website. That was, moreover, a piracy website. On that website, they got a pop-up which looks pretty similar to pop-ups which an official telecom provider places on some websites, promoting and suggesting even a giveaway. Yep, you may see that according to hey, we have an anniversary celebration for the next 7 days, and you have a chance to win a prize of an iPhone 11 or Samsung Galaxy. You just need to pass through a giveaway, and after that you will be able to take part in this competition. And after checking, after clicking all the giveaway buttons, in 10 or 20 minutes, you will get a notification on your email or directly via Messenger saying, hey, dear client, you won the prize. And we are really ready to ship it to you, but we need to ask you for paying some tax, because here in Singapore, we're prohibited just to share with you any prizes without paying a tax, and it's quite okay. And here is the web form for paying this tax. So again, two things. First of all, the tax is just 2 USD. So this is extremely low price, extremely low amount of money. And secondly, in various cases, this form was a phishing form. But again, the biggest part of the cases was scamming, and people just spent money and sent this money directly to their scammers' pockets. What is interesting here, because this amount of money is pretty low. And as soon as people got cheated, they will be waiting for this delivery, and in 2 or 3 weeks, they will understand that nothing is going to happen. Maybe they will contact directly to this telecom provider, maybe not, but nobody is going to call to their bank and to ask for retrieving 2 USD. It's quite a small number, but there were 2 million of people cheated by this scheme. Just imagine 2 people which spent 2 USD, and very few of them really contacted local police departments, contacted the local telecom provider, and so on. So it was extremely helpful for us to use our investigation tools to discover this scheme, and just in 24 hours we defeated the whole scheme after getting contacted by this telecom provider. They asked us for help. But what do we see at the moment? That this scheme really expands also in Europe. You may see that their form, which suggests you to win something, is pretty the same, is pretty equal to the form which we discovered in Singapore. And there are lots of local brands. Yep, so Ziggo is a Dutch brand, for instance. Vodafone is a well-known, well-recognized worldwide brand. And for instance, this is Italian, yep. So they really form the page according to your local language, according to your local preferences, and so on. And also here, some small and local retail networks, yep, from Nordic region, from Europe region, and many others. This makes us really keep thinking about such possibilities. And the most latest thing which we discovered just 2 weeks ago, which I'm going to share with you today, is related to the World Health Organization. So what happened? On the 7th of April, there was a World Health Day, an official day which was recognized by and maintained by the World Health Organization, which is a part of the United Nations operations parties. And what did the guys do? So they started promoting a bunch of domain names which were advertised, which were promoted in several advertising networks, also on social media platforms, also in contextual advertising, which were promoted, again, a giveaway on behalf of the World Health Organization. You may see April 7 World Health Day, you have been selected to benefit from support from the World Health Organization, blah, blah, blah. And you just need to answer 3 very easy questions, very what is your occupation? Officer, worker, unemployed, and so on. Here are also some comments that people are getting money out of this scheme. It's quite okay, and people really started to click on these these buttons to spend their to spend their credentials, and some of them really got cheated. So just in a couple of days, this scheme got around 1 million of unique users. And again, you may see that we discovered 134 domain names. What is worth mentioning is that you may see that the domain names themselves, in various cases, were not equal and were not similar to the Worldwide Health Organization. Moreover, from the perspective of the brand to which these domain names were similar, yep, there's no violation. So as soon as you are a huge brand, which is checking your domain names in an automated fashion, yep, you won't pay your attention to this particular finding because there is no no logo by your brand, no goods sell which are promoted on behalf of your brand. But what can we see? Here's our investigation tool, our network graph, which is designed by our Group IB technical team. Let's look at the connections which we see here. So some companies like Nike were involved into this scheme. These brands you may imagine by yourself, you may see by yourself. Lots of domain names which were kept on a parking stage were involved. And on all of those, their content was placed and the World Wide Health Organization was cheated. So what did help? What was really extremely helpful to us, our network graph, because according to different params like the usage, the historical usage of SSL certificates, the way of how this domain name was registered, of how the hosting provider account was used for this particular domain name, we were able to build this attribution and we were able to discover this scheme just in a very few moments. I would say that this is rather important because as soon as the domain name is placed just on a parking stage, there is no content on its page and it's just in a standby mode. Nobody pays your attention to attention to it, but you may see that the domain name risk score is around 60%. And I would say that from our experience, it is extremely huge risk score. That's why we discovered this scheme very easily, because out of the domain names which were in a standby mode, we discovered that something like fraudulent may happen in a very few moments. And as soon as it happened, we really saw this. So this is a quick overview of what was done in this case. So we took this activity. It was a joint operation with the United Nations, and we blocked these 134 websites just in one day. And moreover, there were additional websites. So overall, there were not only like 134 of them, but around 1,000. And they were just in a ready mode. So the fraudsters, they prepared everything to push those onto the web surface. So we avoid this. We made them removing the folder with the United Nations. And also we're working in strong collaboration with any other brands mentioned in this scheme. But still, it is rather important to keep your eyes open because, again, this is not phishing. This is just scam, and this is cheating people. It is expanding very rapidly, and it leaves pretty the same to phishing. So such campaign like this lasts only for like several days and grabs lots of traffic and lots of money. So let's move to Classy Scam. This is the second scheme which was discovered in 2020. And I would say that it is extremely important to talk about this. I see that I don't have so much time left, so I'm going to talk about it very briefly. But you may scan the QR code on the slide and go to our blog and see the entire scheme in more details. But let me give you a helicopter view of the scheme. So in the early 2020, there appeared a group of people who created special bots for the Telegram Messenger, which is extremely popular among Russian and American audience. It is not so popular among European users, but for some technical geeks, for some cybersecurity guys, for some gamers, it is rather popular. So these guys invented a special Telegram bot which creates a fake page which looks pretty similar to a marketplace page. And they really make it in a fashion when you just need to find an advertisement on OLX, on eBay, on Mercado Libre, on any other worldwide and even local marketplaces, because nowadays there are more than 50 local European marketplaces mentioned in these Telegram bots. What you need to do, you need to, like, as a regular user who is going to cheat people, you just need to connect to the Telegram group where this admin sits. He will provide you with an access to the Telegram bot. After that, you just need to find an advertisement promotion on a marketplace which you love. You need to copy that URL to send it to the Telegram bot. This bot will form for you a special scamming link, which will look like a link for getting money for this particular item which was promoted on this marketplace. And after that, you need to go directly to to messengers with the seller of this good on the marketplace, to ask him maybe to go to WhatsApp or to some other messenger and to send to him this link saying, hey, I've already sent you the money. Please send me the item, and you just can get your money directly to your to your banking card, to your banking account. You just need to follow the link and follow the instructions, and all is done. So in various cases, people really follow the link. They really insert their banking card. And again, this is not phishing. This is scam. So they will spend money. They will send money directly to their administrator account, to their account which was specially made by the administrator of the scamming group for getting those transactions. After that, this admin will will make a cut of this amount of money to the worker, and the worker is the guy who is using this Telegram bot and who is cheating the person directly. Moreover, this worker will try to cheat you even twice. So after being cheated for the first time, for sure you will get back to the direct messaging with this bad guy, with this scammer, with this worker, and you will tell to him something like, hey, you just cheated me. I'm going to go to the local police department. I'm going to apply for this violation and so on. And he will answer you, hey, I'm in the same boat with you. I'm also in a trouble because I've spent my money too, and I'm not going. I see that I'm not going to get the item. So I contacted the marketplace, and they suggested, their technical guys, their technical support suggested me to the procedure. How can I to retrieve my money back? Here is again the link, and again. So believe me, this happens really twice. So again, the scanner provides the link, and the victim sends money for the second time. Also, there's the third party named callers. In some cases, when the amount of money is rather huge, for instance, when somebody is trying to sell a car for 2,000 euros, for instance, in this case, this caller will call you directly, and this means that this caller is really needs to be a native speaker. And there are lots of people working around Europe for now. He will call you directly on behalf of the marketplace, and he will force you to fulfill the form provided via the scamming link, and he will force you to follow the rules of the worker. So, and this really works. Additionally, what is worth mentioning here, that these admins, they really, as they call it by themselves, clean the fields. What does this mean? The average age of workers is around 17 and 18 people. They are really youngsters. They are really small boys and girls who don't understand that they are cheating people. For them, it's just a game. They are not familiar with any types of cybercrime. They even don't know what is phishing, what is scam, and so on. For them, this is just a way to grab some money in very short time frames without doing something rather hard. And for getting that cut, which provides the admin, in various cases, they provide their real banking account. And in advance, after getting a solid amount of money attracted by this worker, the admin just sends all the data, the banking account data, the geotag, the messages, all the screenshots, and so on. So all the evidence collected by this admin, he related to this particular worker, the admin sends to the local police department. And these workers are really got caught by by the police departments and so on. Why it is needed and why the admins act like this? Because they say that as soon as these workers became more aggressive, as soon as they attract more money, they really start thinking about building the same structure. They really start thinking about building the same chat, the same bot, and so on. That's why they really clean the fields, send the workers' data to their police departments, and also the local police departments really think that they are like combating with some scam, with some violations happening in the internet. But no, the admins really stay behind the scenes. You may get in more details, and you may see the examples on our website. Please follow the QR code. And I would say that this is it for today. So I discovered 2 huge cases for you, and I'm happy to answer your questions. Thank you for being here.
Thank you again all for joining, to taking your time. Dmitry, thank you for your input, and we'll be in contact. Have a lovely day.
Thank you so much, David, for making this webinar possible, and thank you, guys, for being here with us today. Have a nice day. Thank you.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.